What's up, everybody? Acting Tough Gaming here. I want to give you a quick summary of what was talked about in the Diablo 4 Season 1 live stream, and then give you what I think are my pros and some questions I have centered around those topics that were covered. The first thing is Malignant Hearts. That's the main mechanic behind Season 1. Essentially, there's corruption that is spread across Sanctuary and caused monsters to have these Malignant Hearts. You kill them and you get those hearts and you socket them into amulets or rings, and they give you new abilities. And the dev team promised that this would cause drastic changes to builds, and you'd see a lot more of different types of builds as you're going around Sanctuary, which is a cool thing. So I ripped right from the blog post. There are 32 different Malignant Hearts, and they're spread across 4 different categories. They didn't say what those 4 categories were in the live stream, but they did say they would provide new and unique bonuses. And as you encounter more menacing malignant creatures, the strength of those Malignant Hearts will increase as well, which is great because it gives you an incentive to do harder content in the game. Now, as I mentioned before, the pros of this, they promise drastic build changes. You can also target farm in malignant tunnels these hearts. So on your map, they said that these dungeons will be labeled as malignant tunnels, and they'll tell you what kind of hearts that they can drop. So you can pick where you want to go and target farm which hearts that you want for the certain abilities that you're looking for. Once you beat all the tunnels, then you unlock a pinnacle boss called Varshan, and I think that's going to provide a good middle ground between like Elias and Uber Lilith, because we all know Uber Lilith is ridiculously difficult, and Elias really is cool for where he's at, but there's nothing from that like level 70 to 100. There's no pinnacle boss there to keep you going. I hope that this provides a middle ground that kind of fills that void. Now, this also obviously provides a new gear chase, which is something that I think Diablo 4 is lacking right now. And the gear chase, I think, is something always good in ARPGs. So I'm excited for this. My questions are, how are they different from the legendary gems in D3? Because honestly, it seemed a little similar. They did not give us like any examples, I don't think, of what these Malignant Heart abilities can do or what kind of bonuses that they give. Another question is, how similar is it going to be to PoE system? Is when they say new and unique bonuses, are they specifically talking about like, hey, you do more lightning damage or fire damage to this? Or is it kind of like PoE where you can have a whole new ability just based on socketing this Malignant Heart into a ring? I think that'd be kind of neat, but it'd be a drastic change. They've been working on it for a while now, though, so we'll see what happens. And then will it actually give more viable builds? That's the big question, and that's the thing that they absolutely need to nail with Season 1, in my opinion, are the gear chase and the viable builds. Moving on to the Battle Pass. This was pretty positive for me too, because all of the bonuses were account-wide. It's not specific to a character, so you're not going to have to grind this over and over again. You have these things called Smoldering Ashes that you're doing these challenges in the Battle Pass, and once you complete them, they give you Smoldering Ashes that you can use to unlock bonuses for your characters in Season 1. So I think that's great. The cosmetics that you unlock in the Battle Pass are account-wide as well, as long as the character that you are wanting to put the cosmetic on is actually capable of equipping that item that the cosmetic is for. And then the Battle Pass, it gives new challenges, as I mentioned before, with those Smoldering Ashes as the reward that you can use to unlock bonuses for all your characters. And then the big thing that they emphasize is it's not pay to win, and based on what they showed, it is not pay to win, because the only difference between somebody that's just doing the free Battle Pass, I say free even though you paid for the game, but you get what I'm saying. The only difference between people using the free Battle Pass and the paid Battle Pass, the extra, I don't know how much it is off the top of my head, but the only difference is cosmetic rewards. So, hey, they're staying true to what they said from the beginning, and I hope that this is what happens moving forward as well. My biggest question from the Battle Pass, though, is will these challenges be a grind like the Renown system was? I thought the Altars of Lilith were fine, and the Fog of War is good on the first playthrough, but ultimately I think everybody can agree the Renown system, it does turn pretty tedious, specifically with a side quest. So I hope these challenges are not going to be tedious in that sense, and that they will actually be fun challenges. Some miscellaneous things that I made note of was the story. So there's an actual storyline that is taking place in this season, which is cool. It's not a continuation. They said it's not like a continuation of the main story, but it will be almost like a big side quest in a way. Your mount is going to be available immediately, which is great. But there are two questions that I have for those first 2 points. Will I care about the story at all? Because if it's like a big giant side quest, I'll be honest, I'm somebody that loves stories and games. And I thought a lot of the side quests were interesting in Diablo 4, but I started clicking through them because it was just too much. And then with the mount, are they going to fix those controls? Because on PC in particular, I can't speak for console, but the controls suck. Like moving your mouse makes further away from your character makes your mount go faster. That doesn't make any sense. They need to fix that. And then it seems like you run into a pebble and your horse stops. I don't have a problem at all with the barriers that are set up. What I do have a problem with is when you choose to get off your mount to go fight them, I don't think there should be a cooldown to get back on your mount. I think there should only be a cooldown if you get knocked off your horse, but that's just my thoughts. The altars of Lilith and the fog of war, how like the fog that covers your map, that's all going to carry over from what you've already done. I said you need to log in on July 18th, starting July 18th when they release the patch for the upcoming season, that do so on the character that you have the most renown on, and the altars and the fog of war will carry over. The bad news with it is that the rest won't. I don't really mind grinding the strongholds again. I think that was pretty cool, but the side quests, I'm not looking forward to doing it. I understand, I guess, why they have that, but it's still not a good thing in my opinion. And then huge thing, I think, is they're adding new uniques, legendaries, and aspects. That's something this game desperately needs, in my opinion, is more loot. They need that feeling of when a piece of gear drops and you get that excitement, right? Because right now, I don't know about you all, but I don't. It's just collecting rares and then heading back from a dungeon, sifting through your inventory and just seeing if any of them are viable. 99.9% of them are not, and then you just you either sell them or you salvage them. So the fact that they're adding uniques and legendaries and aspects is great. My big question here is, are they going to be useful though? Because if they just add them and they're not useful, like most of the legendary aspects and uniques in the game right now, it's not going to matter. So hopefully they've got the balancing figured out on that. Next thing is the July 6th patch. So something interesting they said is that's today, Helltides and Whisper Chests can drop uniques now. My thought was that they already could. I thought in the campfire chat they said that was the best way to try and get uniques, but I guess I was wrong. But a developer in the stream was surprised by this too. So I don't know. Comment if you know what the right answer to that is. I thought they already said it, but hey, I guess I was wrong. Now the end game rewards they also mentioned are changing, but I don't know if this is happening with the July 6th patch and they didn't really talk about how they're going to change the rewards to make them more meaningful so that the end game isn't as tedious or as what it currently is. But again, my big question is this going to give us any meaningful loot to grind? Is it going to give us a reason for doing the things that we're doing besides leveling up to 100? And then my big question that they made a point to say that they are implementing everything as quickly as they can, but there's still no stash tab, and they didn't give a timeline on that. And they said that it's going to be implemented as quickly as possible. That leads me to believe they might be facing some internal backlash because they wanted to monetize those, maybe like a PoE style. I don't know. It's just speculation. Let me know your thoughts. Why do you think it's taking so long for them to add a stash tab? And then at the same time, you would think that changing resistances to actually work would be something really high up on their list. What are your thoughts on why they haven't implemented that yet either? I know they have a lot thrown at them, but those seem like two things that shouldn't be that difficult to fix, in my opinion. The final thing is the Blood Knight. It's a new class in the Diablo franchise. It looks really cool. They released a trailer, and the lore behind it was awesome. The look of the character, the abilities looked all so sick. but it's only in Diablo Immortal, and I'm not going to play that game. I know many of you don't play that game, but if you are somebody that does, let us know in the comments how fun that class is, because it did look really cool. Overall, my vibe from this is positive. I'm kind of, I'm not sold on the Malignant Hearts just yet, but I am optimistic about it. It's more of like a wait and see, but I'm optimistic, as I said. Let us know in the comments, what are your feelings after listening to the live stream and watching this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.